Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch. Abashed, adjective, abashedly, ashamed or embarrassed. Overweening, adjective, overweeningly, arrogant, extravagant, uppity, excessive, immoderate, exaggerated, presumptuous. I remember previous occasions when he had good reason to be abashed and when he said so. Modestly and somewhat abashed, the traveler says he cannot find room. Horrified and abashed, the landlord staggers to his bedroom and locks himself in. Abashed, he let the women pass on. He mumbled unintelligibly and looked abashed. The boys fixed their eyes on the ground, abashed. The shifter melted out of the shadows behind us, looking only vaguely abashed for having startled us. She felt abashed for her snide thoughts about her friend, who had always been loyal. Abashed, the 6 students fell silent and edged away from one another. He held up a finger with abashed embarrassment, then stepped back inside. I scrunched around to face him, then, abashed, swiveled quickly back. He so abashed at recounting that his mother took him to this orgy of violence and lost, despite the film's public condemnation by the Catholic Church. The children, at first abashed, were soon playing happily, running around the house in opposite directions and giggling. You can't help but relate and almost abashedly nod along to her sometimes woeful pleas. Such a power will create an overweening bureaucracy which will be very costly. This might be the exception to the rule with respect to an overweening executive. How, therefore, can one expect them to solve the major problem of the overweening power of government versus the citizen? There are concerns about that court having an overweening amount of power in some of the decisions that it makes. Once again, Congress had struck back against an overweening executive branch. His threat to sacrifice blood for honor with regard to a daughter possessed of such an overweening attitude rang eerily true. My mother, in her overweening ambition, enrolled me in first grade at age 5, having somehow convinced the Mother Superior I was a prodigy. Nowhere on earth can the examples of overweening political ambition, tyranny, repression, division, and human failure be quite so obvious as in Berlin. He championed liberalism in the face of overweening personal and presidential power. The pride and self-confidence behind the unsinkable ship were overweening, down to the fact that there were far more passengers than lifeboat seats. To those who endure such overweening pride and unconscionable cruelty, he's the monster. The mix of stories seems overweeningly appealing to a reader with a certain set of sensibilities, and it shouldn't.